Good afternoon. How is everybody doing? And who's been outside today? Pretty darn nice, isn't it? I heard this morning that the average temperature for today is 71 degrees driving to work, and today we're supposed to be 87 or 88. So this unseasonably warm weather, I know, is definitely it's enjoyable for all of us, but it's really helping with our roofing and our window projects too. So perfect time to have a nice stretch of weather in the fall here. Um, Want to thank everybody for coming. We got a big crowd today. We've gathered several times in the last week, so good to see everybody so much. Um, got a lot of things to cover today, so we're going to get right to it. And we're going to kick it off here by beginning with Mr. Kolner.
Thank you, Damon. Hello. Um, I have less of a joke and more of an interesting experience to share. I went to Chicago a few weeks ago with some buddies to go to some concerts, and we stayed downtown and we went out to eat for all of our meals for 3 days. And as we know, big cities see trends before our little Midwest town does. So I made some observations about differences I see there and here. So just a couple interesting things. Every single meal had a forced 18% gratuity under the guise of fair and equitable wages. The minimum wage for non tipped employees in Illinois is $15 an hour. For tipped employees, it's $9 an hour. In Iowa, our minimum wage for non tipped employees is $7.25, and tipped employees is $4.25 an hour, less than half of a state that's just 3 hours away. And then I looked into it further, and we are the lowest by far, by half, for minimum wage for people working in restaurants and just minimum wage in general. Um, Another thing, every single server that we had started a meal by asking us if we had any special diet requirements. I've never been asked that in any restaurant around here. Um, from counter service at a coffee shop to high-end steakhouse and everywhere in between, every single server asked right off the gate, "Do you have any diet concerns?" So I thought that was interesting. And then every single menu had local items, house-made items, and fresh everything, all except Starbucks at the hotel. Uh, this is something that we don't see here in Des Moines as much as we could and should see. I made these observations and thought about some new directives and goals for our department here in dining. We already have salad dressings that are made in-house, and we've moved to fresh, never frozen produce delivered multiple times a week. But over the coming weeks, you'll see different menus and items that move in line with our company's culinary promise. It's an acronym FRESH. Food is medicine, relationships are key, ethical sourcing and safety, surprising and delightful, and house-made and chef-driven. So each of these tenets have several facets to them and changes that'll be taking place over the coming months and into next year. Um, but as menus roll out, you'll notice symbols notating allergens, highlighting gluten-free and vegetarian items, and plant-based items. Um, I'm also on a Wesley Life committee that's working to start sourcing all of our beef and pork from a local meat locker, Guthrie County. I don't know if anybody's heard of them, but real close to Des Moines. But everything from burgers to bacon to sausage, everything beef and pork will be sourced from Iowa and sourced locally. So we're even going to put in a freezer that'll be in the grab and go during open hours that'll have retail meats from this meat locker for employees and residents who wish to cook with them too. So that'll be cool. Um, yeah, pretty cool. Um, Menus will be smaller, but they will change more frequently. So we'll never, after the next set of menus that'll be coming out, we will never again have a full new menu. It will be a menu that lives and breathes and changes more frequently. Um, so as things like get stale or people stop buying the whatever sandwich, it'll just be changed on the existing menu. Um, There's lots more changes on the horizon, but the menus will be the biggest thing that you'll notice very soon with the symbols and the local fresh offerings. Please watch Uniguest and Facebook for updates as they roll out. And just like any big changes, there's behind the scenes training and systems that'll have to be put in place, which we're working hard to implement so that it's as seamless as possible for everybody. So we're asking our cooks and servers to change the way that they are doing things and have been for some time. So even though there may be some growing pains and some people that won't like it, we'll get the right people in the right places and continue to make sure that we're serving our residents with hospitality and the quality you all deserve. So that's my update. All right. Thank you. Amy?
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm Amy Bassett, Sales Director, for those of you that I don't know. But yeah, I have some good news to share today. First of all, I do want to introduce, I don't see him in here right now, but most of you do know him. Lloyd Kaufman moved in. He's our newest resident since the last time we met. So unless I'm missing him somewhere, and I don't think I am, make sure to say hi to him and welcome him to Wesley on Grand. He participated in Community Fit, so he knows a lot about our community. And so again, you might already know him. So census-wise, it has been a huge September throughout our organization, but I will say even here at Wesley on Grand, we've done very well. Grand, currently we are 100% full. We do have a one-bedroom unit that is coming open in the near future. Bolton, we have sold 102, and 103 likely will have a contract signing this Friday. So that just leaves the one bedroom in Bolton. Sargent is 100% full. And then Central, we only have one independent living only apartment and then one assisted living apartment. So that tells you this is where it gets a little tough when people are calling and wanting to move in. We just don't have a lot, which is a good problem to have, right? But continue to refer your friends, send them my way. We have lots of different options for future need as well. Also, we're going to have, well, as sales director, this is my biggest event that I've had here at Wesley on Grand, and I'm going to share that with you. We are hosting the DSM magazine unveiling for November-December edition, November 5th. So we will have 300 to 400 people come through our community. So it's great exposure. I'm really excited. Our team, we're all very excited, and I know we'll do an amazing job. It is a little nerve-wracking, though, I'm not gonna lie. So, but we're good to go. Any questions for me? Yes, Trudy. We have over 300 residents that live here, give or take. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we got lots more coming up here, so Ryan's next. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Amundsen, Director of Wellbeing, for those that don't know me. I just got a few updates here before passing it over to Wiki. I know she's got a bunch coming up here in October as well. But a couple things I wanted to bring up. Our partnership with Broadlawns on providing some educational pieces is continuing here in October. We actually have 2 dates that they're scheduled to come in. The first one will be on October 7th. They will do a presentation on brain health here in the auditorium. And then they are coming back on the 22nd to do our second blood pressure screening. So for those that participated last time, what we're gonna do a little bit differently is I will have some sign-up sheets I'll put out. Most likely I'll put them over in like the mailroom areas for people to sign up for certain time slots. So that way you're not waiting longer than you need to for that. But That'll be in here in the auditorium on the 22nd. So we're excited to keep that partnership going, and we're aiming for every month or every other month to have that blood pressure check here on campus as well. So I figured several of you would be pretty happy about that, to have it more than just that one time. So they are coming back, and then we already have dates confirmed for more educational presentations in December, January, and February. So continuing to build that out with them. And as they have residents available, they're going to have them sign up for times to do the blood pressure screenings as well. So more to come on that, but you should see some sign-up sheets next week popping up in the mailrooms to get signed up for your time slot, okay? The next thing, a fun thing that we're going to be doing on Halloween this year is a dog show, costume show. Yeah, Amy is super excited. Chad is not excited, but he'll be here. Got to find a costume for him. But if any of you that live here have dogs, we welcome you to dress them up and come for this little dog parade in costumes. And if you have loved ones that have their dogs that routinely come in here, feel free to have them come in for that event too. Just trying to have a fun day with dogs in costumes, because who doesn't love that? So that's coming up at the end of October. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up was in regards to the small group survey that we put out about a month or so ago. Megan and I have compiled all of that information, and there's a lot of good groups that have popped up out of this. For example, there's a lot of people that want to play canasta. We have a sports group that wants to meet, a writing group, men's and women's coffees. The one thing that we did not get more than one person for was people that want to be kind of the lead of that group, right? So I may be reaching out to bug some of you, but we are still planning on moving forward with some of those things. And when I say leading the groups, it's not like you have to come up with content and things like that. We just want to make sure that there's always a consistent presence there to make sure the group continues. So we may be reaching out about that. Megan and I are meeting on Wednesday about this exact topic, but we were excited about the number of surveys that were turned back in, and there's a lot of good information coming out of that. It's just the next step is finding what time of day you would like these small groups to happen. And the first one I want to kind of tackle is the men's and women's coffee groups. Those seem like pretty easy ones to get started. So if you're interested in being a part of a women's coffee group or a men's coffee group, come find me after the meeting or come find Megan and let us know kind of generally, is there a certain day of the week that would work best for you to do that? And then we can start reserving some times for those groups to happen. Okay? Any questions on the small groups? Okay. Question on the dog parade. Yes, Amy. So I've had a lot of requests for voting, and I think, yes, I'll come up with a voting system. Yeah. Yep. Really, if there's a dog that has a family member associated with Wesley, they are automatically pre-entered. They just have to show up. But to Amy's point, we'll do a voting system, but every dog will get a prize as well. We're working on that. So it should be a lot of fun. Yes, Amy, in front. Okay, so if you didn't hear that, if the owner also dresses up with their dog, there might be extra prizes available. So this could get really interesting. So with that in mind, I might do my best to record it, like we do with this as well. But if you have questions on can my dog come or can my loved one's dog come, the answer is yes. Just reach out to us, and we'll start getting kind of a tally of how many dogs are going to be here, okay? If you have cats, they are allowed to come and observe. They can cheer them on. They could maybe help judge, but it should be a lot of fun at the end of the month. So, yep, yeah, right? Cats can judge, yeah. So any questions about those topics? Yes, Lynn? The dog show? The date will be the 31st, October 31st, Halloween Day. So that's actually a fairly decent segue here. I know Wiki's going to talk about it. we have an event coming up on the 16th that you might be able to dress your dog from. So, any other questions for me before I hand it off to Wiki to probably talk about that exact topic? No? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Since I'm vertically impaired. I'm Wiki. I think most of you know me. If you don't, I'm not doing my job. But anyway, I'm in programming, and we have to thank the resident council and Damon for a brand new bus. I cannot tell you how wonderful that bus is. I don't feel like I'm being bounced to the ceiling every time I get on it. So thank you, thank you. My back thanks you, my rear thanks you, everything. So, it is a joy to ride in the bus. That being said, please, please sign up ahead of time for any outside event. I want to make sure you get a seat on the bus. I know some will probably be driving because we want to make sure everybody gets there, but and we will make sure that happens. But the sooner you get your name in on a list, the more assured you will of having a seat. We are going to Center Grove Apple Orchard next month, so that's one of the outings. We're going to the Des Moines Symphony, of course, in October on the 19th, and we're having lunch at Firebirds, which we have not done before, and that'll be on the 21st. So just check your calendars for those events and get your name on the list. We have two very special music programs this month. Hannah Marks is a Roosevelt gal, grew up here, and then ended up in New York City as a very renowned bassist. And she will be here next Saturday. You want to hear her for sure. She's been here once before. She'll be in this room at 2 o'clock, and it'll be a trio. So she's a pianist, and I'm not sure what the other member of the group is doing. But anyway, be sure and come hear her. Also, on October 18th, there is a jazz pianist I'm really excited to hear. His name is Ehud Ashri. He was born in Israel. He is currently living in New York City, and you should see his resume. He's played all over the world. He plays everything from classical to Broadway to very avant-garde jazz. So you'll get a little bit of everything, and he will be here October 18th. That is also on a Saturday. Educational opportunities this month is Jim Kellerman, my friend from Minneapolis, will be here. He normally does a music program, but this time he's doing Science of Contentment, which he has done once before. He is certified to teach this program. It is about brain health and how it relates to music. I think for those of you that like music and are interested in music, and I think I've seen it. It is an amazing, amazing hour. So please do come. You don't need to sign up, just arrive. And it'll be this Thursday, right after we leave. And it'll be, I think, at 2 o'clock this Thursday. Also, this month for educational, there will be an age awareness panel, which includes 11 speakers that will address aging issues. That will be on Thursday, October the 9th. Again, you don't sign up, you just come to that. Seasonal events, Oktoberfest, Barefoot Becky will be back with her husband, and they'll be doing an Oktoberfest program for us on Friday the 10th. And then the big event, which I do annually, is the Christmas in October. We've done this annually for probably 20 years. However, the vendors have changed through the years. And we will have a group of specially selected vendors that will come in and sell their wares on that particular day. It is from 10 to 2 in here. And I'm just gonna, I won't go through all the names of all the things that will be, but some things will include, let's see, we have Surrounded by Hope with Sherry Roberts, Holiday Crafts, Wooden Wonders, the gentleman, he's new this year. He hand makes beautiful wooden bowls and cutting boards, and they're fantastic things. Estate Jewelry will have The Honey Lady will be back. Quilted Creations with our own Sandy Renegar. I'm really excited to see what she's bringing down for that. And Tastefully Simple will be back. And probably the thing I'm most excited about is Gather and Gab will bring up its whole new fall collection to show off up here. So we will have all the things that we've kind of holding back to surprise you with, and that will be on that day and be selling as well. Please, please invite your family and friends to come. It's something we encourage everyone to come and invite everyone you know. And I guess the big news is on this Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock, if you want to come see us off, we're leaving for Greece. So I don't expect a big crowd there to wave goodbye to us. As a matter of fact, I'm wondering how I'm going to make it. But anyway, we will be leaving for 10 days. I just heard a note from Rita. Some of you remember Rita is working here. She and Gary just made it to Greece. They had a little pit stop in Heathrow, which was not planned, so they had to go to England before they got to Greece. But they have made it, and they said they're really glad to be at their hotel. So that's all I know. I said good night, goodbye. So anybody have any questions? Yes. Where do you sign up? Just give me your name, and if you say yes, I'll put you on right now. Okay, you're on the bus to the apple orchard. Okay. Any other questions? All right. I'm going to hand it off to Ed. Okay, Ed. Thank you all.
Well, what I have to say is not as exciting as trips to Greece or dog costume shows, probably. But so I just wanted to make people aware of, one of the things that we treat over in physical therapy. I'm a physical therapist here and the therapy director. And I know I've worked with some of you guys for this ailment, and that's vertigo. The good news is it's a very simple treatment. If you're suffering from this, usually 2 or 3 treatments, and if it's true vertigo, it's fixed. And if it's not true vertigo, we can cross that one off the list and communicate to your doctor that we've tested for that and that's not the cause, and to look further into what might be some of the things ailing you with that. Because I know it can be very debilitating. I've had friends and patients with it, and when it hits, sometimes you're on the couch or in the bed, or one of my friends on the floor for 3 or 4 days each month until it passes. So if it is something that happens, and it's fairly common, it can come out of nowhere, or for some people it is chronic. It shows up every few months. But if that's something that you suffer from, feel free to hunt me down or any of the therapists. Currently, I'm the only one of us therapists that treats it. But if you find any of us, they can point you in my direction, and we can help you get over that problem. Thank you.
All right, hello again. Okay, I got a number of things to go over. I'll try to kind of go slow so I don't miss any questions. First off, I will talk about the windows. Obviously, today we had our first 2 apartments, occupied apartments, where we started replacing their windows today. The window company was in there at 8 o'clock, and the residents were out of the apartment, and their apartments are being worked on right now. If you've had the opportunity to look on our west side of our building or on the north side, it looks a little funny up there because the windows are just, well, a couple hours ago, the windows just weren't on that apartment. So just big holes up there. So it looked kind of, so people got some pictures too, so for memories, but it's kind of interesting. But from everything I'm hearing so far, the first day is going very smooth. So again, just a reminder, we covered this last week, but we'll cover it again here. We will let you know about 5 to 7 days out, roughly. This is the grand residence, obviously, when your apartment is due to get the windows replaced, roughly 5 to 7 days. And then right before, the day before too, most likely we'll remind you. If you have any questions at that 5 to 7 day reminder, just let us know or let us know at any time. Want to make this as easy as possible for you. On the day that TMJ comes, Sam and I are doing complimentary lunches. We had our first one today. By complimentary, I got it confirmed this morning by a resident. Yes, that means free, but a complimentary lunch with Sam and I to talk about. Food will probably come up because it always does, but we had our first one today. It was a lot of fun. Talked about a little bit of everything. So get to know each other better, have a little fun, talk about the community, get to know you better. You can get to know us better. I think that'll be something to make this extra enjoyable over the next 5 weeks or so. So remember, you don't have to go. Might hurt our feelings a little bit, but we understand if you made other plans or if you just can't make it or whatever, that's fine too. But everyone will be extended an offer for a free lunch with Sam and I that day. And we'll see how today goes. I'll keep everybody updated. I checked this morning. I said, will you let me know if you're going to go past 5 to finish up? And the response was, oh, we're really counting on finishing by 5 and not being home in time for supper. So they're really determined. So we'll keep you updated, but it's really nice to have that project off and running. To touch on the roofing projects a little bit, the grand roof is almost done. They've just got some of the louder work left up there. Over 90% of the materials are in place and everything, but they're pretty darn close up there. I think with the weather this week, if I understood them correctly, I think that'll wrap up this week. Health center will take a little longer. It's a bigger roof and everything, and it's a different kind of roof. But if you look down from the windows in the Grand, you'll see they're working over there too. That roof really needed to be replaced, so a lot of us are excited about that too. An update for our residents in the Bolton. The interior designers are continuing to work on our schemes for our refresh over there. The next thing that I will hear eventually in the near future is a presentation date where we'll share the schemes. Our Bolton residents will be invited, and so a lot of us staff will, not a lot of us, but a handful of us, I know I want to be there, will be there to see their presentation of ideas for the inside of the Bolton. So that's going to be getting closer and closer here, so anticipating that here pretty soon. No word on the elevator yet for the Bolton. They're just still in that process. You know, we went through this with the Sargent elevator, but they're waiting for their parts and everything. And once they have all those parts, they'll organize their crew and give us a date. So anxiously awaiting word on that. That's not affected by the weather or anything, so at least we don't have that concern. The vans will be wrapped. We finally got confirmation, right, Amy, on October 6th. So the vans we have 2 new vans, of course, for transportation, 2 out of the 3. We got one less than a year ago, and we got one here about a month ago. And they will have Wesley Life wrapping on them here on October 6th, finally. So we're excited about that. They'll look really sharp. And that way, when you use the van, or our transportation service, they come to pick you up and everything. It'll say Wesley Life on the side of it, and you'll know it's not just a van that could look like ours, but it's actually our van. So it's really important that we get that on there. The bus, well, you know, we're still pushing that, but hopefully, any word on that, Amy? Yeah. Yeah. So waiting on final approval on the bus wrap. And I know that's been a little bit challenging, but we're getting close on that. And we'll have that wrap too. Want to thank everybody for last Friday. We had a really nice turnout on surveys. And we've had a good number of people that weren't able to be there that came afterwards. And I was here for about 4 or 5 hours yesterday. And yesterday and today, I probably had another 7 or 8 people come in and pick up a survey who couldn't be here on Friday. Several of them asked if they could still get a roll. I didn't know quite how to respond to that, and I said, well, I can take you to the Sante for a muffin or some cookies, but Yeah, I thought it was funny that several asked the question if there was a LME left for them. But so on the surveys are, that's a September project, so they're due, tomorrow's the last day. So if you have a survey and you haven't turned it in yet, please get it in. I will probably deliver that box of surveys either tomorrow after work or Wednesday morning before work. So we're right at the end of the timeline there, so please get those in. And if you haven't done one, please come get one. You still have a little time. But thank you for everybody. I haven't counted them yet or anything, but that box was very full. So that means there's a lot. Going forward with those, once those are tabulated and we get the results back and everything, we will have, I think there'll be too much to talk about to review those at a meeting like at the resident update. So the plan is to set aside a separate meeting where we will just put the highlights up here on the big screen, and we will talk about them as a collective in that setting. So more to come on that, but that will be in the very near future. And as you saw on the company-wide survey form, they were inviting people for chat groups and stuff like that. So I have no idea how many people were interested in that, but if we have enough people interested, they'll be coming out to facilitate those too. So more to come as I get dates on that from NSC. I'll let you know. And some of those result reviews will be set up by my team. So I see all those happening in November. And last but not least, I want a big thank you to Bailey and Sunellen team as we continue to operate during a very busy time without a plan ops director. We continue to search. We are searching aggressively. We are searching high and low. We are searching out of state, surrounding states, looking for this position. It's just a tough one to find. And I don't know why. It kind of surprises me, but finding people with the kind of skill sets we're looking for to run this position here, there are just not many of them out there. So, and that's always kind of been the case. That's never been an easy one for Wesley Acres and now Wesley on Grand to recruit. So, of course, we had Mark those 6 years, and he was a tremendous blessing. But those types are the anomaly. But we're doing our best to not settle, and we're gonna keep calling and prying, and we're going to find our person, and that's all till we have a really good one. So, but I'll keep you updated. Thankfully, we have some really good people in the interim. Is someone? What's that? You solved it? Okay, you're welcome. So that's it for me today. And I just want to stress, if nothing else, with these projects, already yesterday when I was up here catching up on a couple things, a couple residents did a really good job of coming in to ask questions about rumors that they'd heard about the window project. Both were way off target, but instead of getting stressed about it, the residents just came and asked me. I said, no, that's not accurate. Here's the reality of how it works. They felt much better. Oh, that's a big relief. So don't stress over rumors. If you hear something that sounds off, just come ask me, because sometimes people hear it or misinterpret it or just try to stir the pot and get people worked up, and we don't need any of that around here. Just come ask. So, any questions? Kelly. Great question. So how many apartments are they working on at one time? Well, today they're working on a couple apartments. And the way I understood them, what their strategy is they're starting off by design conservatively to meet that one-day goal. And what Ryan expects, the head of TMJ, is as they get going and do a few rooms and hit their stride, so to speak, that should probably double to 4 a day. So right now, 2 a day, could get up to as high as 4 a day. So, yeah, and I can tell he fully expects that to happen because that's what his schedule is based on. Well, they'll be road runners by then when they get to your floor. Part of the reason is, like today we've got 2 rooms up on 8th that we're doing, and they just, no rush today. They want to make sure everything about it, the removal, the install, moving furniture around, moving furniture back. Don't forget the cleaning and touch up afterwards. That's very important. Picking up everything that they utilize to protect things from dust and all that. There's a lot of different parts to this. And I think they're just trying to get a few rooms under their belt and do them very, very well. And then they'll start to spread out their team a little more once they know they can meet that demand at the quality that we're expecting. So personally, in working with Ryan, I think that's a really good strategy. Yes, Paul. Paul's question is on window treatments and will they be responsible for putting them back on? In one form or another, yes. So this question's come up quite a few times over the last few weeks, and it's a really good question. So remember at the meeting how they talked about plantation shutters, obviously, electronics. Those are two things. If you have those types of finishings, um, please feel welcome to call your installer and have them remove them and then put them back on when we're done. The key is we will reimburse for that. We don't want, a lot of the materials up there they can handle. They've seen them, no problem. But some of these are pretty sophisticated window treatments, and we want them to look the way they looked before we did the project. We want them to operate they did before the project started. And with plantation shutters and with these electronics that they do nowadays, you really need a subject matter expert to do that. Now, the more basic blinds and everything, TMJ is comfortable doing. If we hit a hiccup in that, though, where if they come into an apartment and they're like, ooh, this isn't something we're comfortable with, we'll figure it out. I mean, one scenario, and I'm not saying this will happen, but if that were to happen, they could maybe do another room that day while we get someone in to remove the window treatments for them. But we're not going to screw them up by taking them down if we don't know how. So, to answer your question, Paul? You're welcome. Yeah. That's all right. Well, we had an arborist. My former director of plant ops did have an arborist come out here. Unfortunately, I didn't get the full report. I haven't seen that yet. But what I do know is, and I might as well share it now, we do have reason to believe that our big tree out front of the mansion, the big beloved pine tree, it's stressed. So that was the big reason we had the arborist come out. That's something we've been looking at throughout this year and everything. So we've got another subject matter expert on trees that we're going to give a call to see about steps we can take to extend the life of that tree. So, and I'd have to find, I haven't seen the report that he got from the other trees. But yes, he did have someone come out here. But the one I had to know about was my favorite tree, which is right outside of door one. A lot of us, that's our baby out there, and it's a very old tree, and it's showing signs of stress. Sometimes it can be hard to tell, and it's kind of hard to tell how much time it has, but there are things you can do to extend the time we have with that tree. So thanks for asking. It was a good question. Yes, Lou.
Hey, Lou. Over here, Lou. When it gets colder out, come find me and we'll do s'mores. But in 89 degrees, we don't want to do s'mores. Yeah, we can do that this fall, Lou. Yep.
Thanks, Ryan. Yes, any water, is that in regards to the, well, no matter what the cause is, yes, it'll be repaired. So TMJ is looking very carefully right now for anything related to the project that has happened. And if there happens to be something in addition to that happened before, our team and I will get it taken care of. As far as when we're going to repair your, okay, good question. She's asking if she should report to maintenance. If it's probably a good idea if you do report it, just to make sure they have it written down. The way I understand it, we'll be checking all the rooms up there. But if you do have a water issue in your apartment, one of the reasons, if you go back to why we did the roof before the windows, is we wanted to get a competent roof on the top of the Grand before we started addressing a number of water-related damages. So now that the roof is on and it's going to be done, we want to touch up those areas where we've had leaks and everything, whether it was from the roof or from 1 or 2 years ago or from a pipe. Yeah, just let us know. That's probably the safe thing to do if we don't, just in case we don't already have it documented, because we'll be coming around looking anyway. So, anything else? Oh, she's back. Mhm.
So Damon, I've been taught how to program fobs now, so I can actually make fobs for you. How many do we need? A couple? And what apartment number? Come find me after the meeting. But yeah, I have the ability to do that now. So if anybody needs, yeah, I know, dangerous. If anybody needs fobs updated, let me know. Yeah, I'll need to run down and grab a couple, but I can do that for you. Yeah.
And sorry they forgot to bring you those.
Chris, it was about key fobs. So how to get key fobs and all that. So it used to just be Bailey and Jeremiah, but now I can do key fobs. So as long as I can get in and grab a handful of them, I can program them out. So
Yeah. Oh, yes. The Campneys have been kind enough, of course, them, along with Mary Gottschalk back here. Their apartments are getting done today, and we were at lunch today talking about it. And they are, as of tomorrow morning, if anybody wants to see the new windows, in an apartment, all done and finished and ready to go, the Campneys are happy to have you come visit there. So's Mary. She's raising her hand. Thank you, Mary. So both 801 and 808. So Beth said Beth said as long as it's no earlier than 6 a.m., you can go to her room. No, after 10 a.m. And if you want to see the windows, just to see what they look like, maybe open them and just see everything about them before you get yours installed. Both the Campneys and Mary Gottschalk are happy to show you theirs since they're the first ones to go. So that's very kind of them. Anything else? Yes. Did you hear that?
I don't know that answer. That'd be more of a Bailey question on how many fobs you can get. I'm not sure on that, Lynn. I was shown how to set them up, but I don't know how many to give out.
Yeah, I'd have to check on that too, probably in the handbook. Yes. Supposed to be. All of the base point, the electronic locking doors, they unlock at 7 o'clock in the morning and they lock at 8 o'clock at night. A couple of the manual locks, and I believe this year we're going to be having base point, at least it's the plan as of now. All doors are going to be electronic, so they're all on the same, they're all talking on the same system. But right now it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, as we go, every winter, as we start to get to this time of the year, and the time change is 5 weeks away, I always put it out there. We talk about it in resident council. This is always one of the toughest things we have to agree on. I am very open to what time we lock this place at night. You know, it does. We have residents and families that would like us locked when it gets dark, and here pretty soon it's going to be dark at 5 o'clock. We have residents and families that do not want me to move it at 1 minute from 8 o'clock. So it just requires some it's one of those, you have multiple camps. Personally, I think the safer thing to do is to, I'm not saying it has to be 5 o'clock. I would move it up from 8 o'clock a little bit though. Maybe 6:30, something like 6 or 6:30. That's my opinion. But that's something that's been a struggle to get a consensus on last many years.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Good questions. Real good questions today. Yeah. If you need a key fob, right there.
Yeah, and so once again, I'm not maintenance, but I play one on TV, right? So I know for certain assisted living residents, they did not get a key fob when they moved in. It was kind of upon request, just because at the time we didn't need fobs for all those doors. But a lot of that has changed, especially with the dining access and everything, right? So we are kind of in the process of, as people are asking, giving out more of those key fobs. But like I said, since recently, so it wasn't just Bailey having to do all this. I got shown how to do it. So if you are interested in a fob and you're in assisted living, let me know. And I can work on getting one programmed for you, unless there's some reasons why I can't, but it shouldn't be a problem.
Pat. No, we're not replacing all the keys to the doors. What we're doing is, right now, most of the doors are on the base point system that locks. It's the electric ones with the fob and the touch point combinations, mostly in the master plan areas and a couple on the south side of the property. We're looking at getting all the doors on that system because the reason that is, Pat, is because right now we have a couple doors that requires security to lock them manually. So the computerized is just 8 o'clock, ching, 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 ching. Those doors just lock with all instantly. But then security has to lock a few of the others. And nothing against them, but we'd feel better if they were all on one system. So, anything else? All right, lots of good questions. Appreciate that. Like I said, if you have questions about any of our projects going on, please stop in and ask. We really appreciate that when you do that. So have a good month. Enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be this way for the next couple weeks, I think, or something. So pretty awesome. All right, thank you.